You guys wanted another sad list, so let's do it. Sure. What's happening, guys? I hope you had a great weekend. Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Taylor McWatters. Get those tissues ready. You know exactly why you're here. Top 10 animals humans forced into extinction, part 2. Kicking off the list at number 10, the golden toad. The disappearance of the golden toad is the first extinction in history to be blamed on man-made global warming. Good job, guys. What better way to kick off this eye-opening part 2? The golden toad extinction event happened pretty recently and pretty quickly. In their home of Costa Rica, it was considered a good omen, or it was lucky if you saw it. I mean, obviously, it's a golden toad. If this was Super Mario, that would for sure be a star. You know, it catches the eye, it's beautiful. But then sightings became more and more rare come 1987. It was no question these little dudes were disappearing. Not just golden toads either. Nearly half of all frogs and toads within a 30-kilometer radius were dying off. Thing is, there weren't any humans around here either. People weren't scooping up golden toads and taking them back. The area was free from human interaction, which tipped scientists off. Now we can conclude that the cause was for sure climate change. See, as it got warmer and warmer, the frogs became more susceptible to the chytrid fungus, which was already destroying frog populations worldwide. And we of course just didn't help. Sorry, golden frogs. Number 9, aurochs. The great-great-great-grandfather of our modern day cattle. These big boys were quite aggressive, but humans were of course way worse. Classic. Eurasian aurochs were these massive wild ox that walked gracefully through the lands of Europe, Asia, and Siberia. The average height for one of these guys was around 6 feet, but their horns made them appear much larger. See, because of these impressive horns, they were viewed as aggressive animals. So often in ancient Roman arenas, they were used for sport. So that surely didn't help. They were aggressive when locked inside a death arena. Wow, get out of town, really? You don't say. By the time the 13th century rolled around, the only humans allowed to hunt aurochs, because their number was so low, were royals and nobles. This animal is endangered, unless you're rich, I guess. Come 1564, there were only 38 left, and 1627 marks the last time one was seen alive. She died in Poland due to natural causes. It wasn't, warriors this time around. Number 8, AUROCHS. Sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Let's do it. These guys were a species of grabe, which are aquatic diving birds, and they made their homes in the beautiful lakes around Madagascar. Throughout the 20th century, their population was rapidly declining because of habitat destruction, as well as the introduction of the blotched snakehead, which then began to prey on them. First their homes were reduced, and then this bully of a fish swims in and starts taking names. Double whammy, sorry guys. Their extinction was official come 2010, which is super recent when thinking about something like the dodo bird. Scientists were hesitant to officially classify them as extinct because of the fact that their home is so remote and tiny. They were hard to find. There were thorough surveys in the area in 1989, 2004, and 2009 that all failed to find any remaining evidence of the species, and on top of that, the last confirmed sighting was all the way back in 1982. If you're thinking maybe they flew away, good idea, but think again. These guys had tiny wings, so traveling long distance was a no-go. It's believed they couldn't have found a home. Pretty sad, right? Well, hit that thumbs up and we'll do a part 3 to wash it all down. Number 7, the dodo bird. Remember these funny dudes from the movie Ice Age? Well, we wiped them out too. Pretty much. They were once big and beautiful. These flightless ground nesting birds once filled the island of Mauritius, located in the Indian Ocean. They had massive talons, they were gray and blue, they were beautiful, they didn't have any natural predator, all was going well until we came along. Around 1507, the island was discovered by Portuguese sailors, and the rest is history. They were the easiest bird to hunt, hence the phrase dead as a dodo. They weren't just loved by sailors either, we're not 100% to blame here. There was monkeys, rats, pigs, any animal that made its way to the island easily had their eggs for lunch. So it didn't take a long time for the dodo bird population to be completely wiped out. The last dodo was hunted in 1681, and if it wasn't then, it would have been like a year later. Imagine dodo bird chicken wings now? That's all I'm saying, we're kind of the worst. Number 6. CATARINA pupfish. Not to be confused with the Catalina wine mixer, the CATARINA pupfish was a species of fish that was first found in 1972 and was endemic to a spring located in Nuevo Leon, Mexico. The species of fish was seen to be rapidly declining in the 80s and 90s due to their habitat being disrupted by groundwater extraction. You know the phrase leave some for the fishies? This is what they kind of meant. This led scientists to try and save them by bringing some into captivity, which sounds weird, but hear me out. It turned out to be more difficult than anticipated. In 1994, the fish ended up being extinct in the wild, so the only members of the species remaining were the ones brought back into captivity. Sadly, the last remaining male of the species passed away in 2014, which was when the species became officially extinct, because you got it. Number 5. The Labrador duck. Long before we ate this bird to extinction, the Labrador duck was a rare sight to see. Also referred to as the pied duck or the skunk duck because of its coloring, we really don't know much about this guy to this day, behavior-wise. We know that it liked to hang out in sheltered bays, harbors in New Jersey, Long Island, New England, and of course coastal Labrador. Did it honk or did it beep? That's a deep joke right there. The honk and the beep, different words for different places, you get it. The Labrador duck went extinct in the 1870s, and it's because, we believe, we ate it to death. The bird was known to taste bad, but it was pretty cheap for meat in the market, so you get it, Bob's your uncle. Long before duck hunt, these birds were also hunted either for eggs, feathers, or just for fun. Another reason they went extinct is because we stole their lunch. The ducks were often in competition with us over their main food source, mollusks. The last known specimen was shot in New York. Yeah, shot like a mob boss. What a sad way for a species to go out. Number 4. Bulldog rat. I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad the bulldog rat is no longer a thing. It's disgusting, I don't like rats, sorry. Check this unit out. Known to be even larger than black rats, the bulldog rat was last seen around 1903, the same time speed walking was introduced to the Olympics. Coincidence? Completely, absolutely. They have 2 to 3 centimeters of fat on their backs, so gross, with short tails and thick hair. Yeah, a rat with thick ass hair. Not a fan. Again, sorry if you're a rat person. I can't even look at these things. I didn't include any images when I was writing this. Despite this thing not sounding holly and or jolly, its home was that of Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean. Sailors were responsible for this extinction. They pulled up to the island, Christmas Island, and brought with them no gifts but black rats riddled with disease. Yeah, it took less than a year to wipe out an entire rat species. Hashtag rats with fat. Number 3. PYRENEAN IBEX. The horns on this thing? Are you kidding? What have we done? The PYRENEAN IBEX went extinct around 2000. They said the world was going to end, and for these guys, it did. A subspecies of the Spanish ibex, the PYRENEAN ibex were native to the Pyrenees Mountains on the border of Spain and France. See, back in the medieval ages, their population was reduced drastically to an endangered level. They were all over, but you know, knights and swords and bows and people were hungry, they obviously didn't last long. That and disease spread by humans, that also played an important role in their demise. But here's the craziest part and the main reason I wanted this guy on our list. They tried to clone one back in 2003. It failed, obviously, but a cloned extinct animal. Sounds familiar. Number 2, the woolly mammoth. Believe it or not, scientists are trying to bring this one back from extinction. Yeah, it was announced only months ago that a team of scientists and entrepreneurs over at a company called Colossal are planning to bring the woolly mammoth back to life. The last mammoth alive was around 7,500 years ago, right at the end of the last ice age. They want to put them back on the map. Literally, they want to put them back in the Siberian tundra. Thousands of years ago, it was once full of these hairy behemoths, but climate change slowed them down a bunch. Humans also didn't help. They needed food, and these guys provided warmth and, well, look at them. Lots of food. I can't wait until science brings back the woolly mammoth, and then in like 50 years, they get to go extinct all over again. Like, let's just learn from mistakes, I don't know. And finally, coming in at number 1, the northern white rhinoceros. We had the western black rhinoceros in part 1, so we might as well finish on the sad reality that is the 2018 extinction of the northern white rhino. There are no more males left. The last male passed away in 2018, so this is just a lost cause really when it comes to saving these guys. On top of that, in recent news, one of the 2 remaining female rhinos is being retired from the international breeding program put into place. Her name is Najin, she's 32 years old, and she lives in a Kenyan nature preserve with her daughter Fatu. Now, both Najin or her daughter are able to carry a rhino calf. Their only hope really before this was to collect the rhino's eggs, send them to a lab, and then they extracted sperm from the 2 deceased males, and scientists were hoping to implant them into a surrogate mother from the southern white rhino population. The group running the operation, BioRescue, spoke out recently. The head veterinarians Frank Goritz and Stephen Gulu said, "Retiring one individual from a conservation program because of animal welfare considerations is usually not a question to think about for long. But when one individual is 50% of your entire population, you consider this decision several times." Yeah, 32 years old, more than fair. This isn't on her or her daughter. It's on poachers, probably. Cheers. Guys, those were 10 more animals forced into extinction, and let me tell you, if you want a part 3, 4, 5, 6, we can probably do that. Sad but true. I've been your host, Taylor McWatters. I hope I made this depressing reality a little bit more entertaining. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Most Amazing Top 10. Bye.